I thought that was total bullshit up until yesterday.
Yeah, well, we still definitely got some ground we gotta make up.
This is a damn good burger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Jacked and Pilled. I'm your host of Natty Crusader, John Collins. I'm coming at you with a new attitude, a new vibe, and a new split. And why do I have a new split? It's because it's growing season now. I was initially planning to do a show in October, but after getting some feedback from the judges and their main critique of mine being size, I'm thinking, well, what's the point of just doing another show and prolonging my timeline of getting better and improving some of the things that would actually help me win a first place trophy? So I'm growing now, but we're not jumping head first into a growth. I think that's a common misconception some people have. When you are going into a growing phase, you kind of got to prime your body to grow. And rather than going all in and having a bunch of calories all the time every single day and putting yourself in a position where you're likely to gain a lot of body fat, you kind of got to ease into it a little bit. And that's the hardest part, because right now I'm eating ever so slightly above maintenance. I'm carb cycling, but it averages out to be about like 3,000 calories a day. And one thing I've heard people say is, oh, the real diet starts after the show. I thought that was total bullshit up until yesterday. And it makes all the sense in the world, because initially once you come out of the show and then you have your cheat meals, or in my case a cheat weekend, it's really hard to get back into the locked in, dialed in, structured mindset after that. I'll admit, after the show, because my show was on Saturday, so between like Saturday night and all of Sunday, I probably had close to about 15,000 calories. It was crazy, and I kept stuffing, and I shouldn't have pushed as far as I did. I'd eat till I was like painfully full. I'd wait a couple hours for that to subside, and then I would eat again till I was painfully full, and I repeated the process throughout the weekend. My initial plan was to do a big IHOP breakfast, big Chipotle lunch, and a big rigatoni's dinner. I ended up having to skip the Chipotle lunch just because I was so full from the IHOP breakfast, but I still tore up rigatoni's later at night. But we're dialed back in today. It's a high carb day. It's not that hard to dial into that, and I have some pretty good carbs in me. I'm going to be pretty fueled for this workout. This is my third workout back. I've had an upper body day, I had a quad bias lower body day. I'm gonna have another upper body day today. This one is more so push focused. The big thing we're really trying to bring up is upper body, and specifically arms. So I have 2 upper days throughout the week, a push bias day, a pull bias day, and then I have an arm day. And then 2 leg days, there's a quad day, and there's a glute hamstring day. Apparently I'm not as thick as I should be. But the calories are still up, the vibe is up, the pump is likely going to be off the charts, and I'm looking forward to pushing some pretty freaking good numbers today, and I'll see you in there.
You know, I almost totally forgot what having a pump even felt like. That last month and a half of prep before the show were filled with probably some of the worst workouts I've ever had in my life. Just feeling flat, and then just slowly feeling your strength just like dip. The past 3 workouts I've had back in here were the first workouts I've had where I've actually felt good. But this is gonna be my first time actually trying a semi-heavy press. I mean, back like peak bulk when I was 50 pounds heavier, I could push like in 90s for reps. And then during peak week, I was kind of like dying on like 60 and 65. I'm feeling brave today because my warm-ups were feeling pretty good. We're gonna try and take, what is this, 80s for a ride and hope for 8 or more, but this still kind of feels like uncharted territory because I lost so much strength in those last few weeks of prep. Yeah, well, we still definitely got some ground we gotta make up. That was 6 with 80. This time last year, I was repping out like 8 or 10 reps with 90. So that's a little demoralizing, but it's all part of the process, as they say.
And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. We finally got cheat meals back on the menu. After some small hiccups this week, I locked back in. My average calorie intake for the past 5 days has been about 3,200, which is just a little bit barely above maintenance, so we're still working some cheat meals in. And today we're starting with some Carl's Jr. You guys got a glimpse of In-N-Out last week, but I didn't sit down for the full meal with you. So Carl's Jr.'s right here. I got my Diet Coke right here. And what did we get with Carl's Jr.? We got 2 burgers, Western bacon. This is a childhood classic. My dad used to take me here after my lifts when I was like 12 years old, and I used to get one of these and they were awesome. And then one other thing that I got that I've only ever had this like once from these guys before is the El Diablo burger, which is pretty sweet. I got some onion rings down in here as well. I'm not gonna take them out because they're a little bit on the messy side. We're starting with the El Diablo burger though. Listen, and I'm excited, all right? Anytime that's not a cheat meal, I'm going to be locked in, but when the cheat meals come around, we are going to enjoy it. Oh man, that is good. I miss these days. Life is a lot simpler when you're following a meal plan, you have your normal energy day to day, you have good lifts, you get good pumps, and once a week you get a good cheat meal. There's really nothing better than that. Now, I said having good lifts. My lifts have been going okay this week. It's very interesting because I'll go into these lifts and I get a really, really good pump just because the glycogen has been restored into the muscles, but my strength is still lagging quite a bit. The pump is there, the strength is not. I'm still recovering a lot of my strength, as you saw a couple days ago when I freaking failed on the bench. I know I'm wearing the same shirt, but the first half of this video was filmed on Thursday and it is Saturday now. So the strength, that's going to take some time, but you know, as long as we're putting some calories down, the strength's going to come back. This is a damn good burger. We got some jalapenos in here, so it's got a little bit of spice to it. And I know what you guys are saying, well, who's this white boy thinking he can handle some spice? You'd be surprised. In my experience, some of the people I've met that are the most well-equipped to handle spice were actually blue-collar redneck workers. Shout out Steve. Because back when I was a welder, Steve used to bring in this sauce during lunch called Regret, and one little tiny drop of that would probably send you to the bathroom with the water for hours at a time. And I dabbled in that a little bit. So a lot of my experience comes from hanging out with Steve a little bit. Shout out Steve, I miss you and I love you, buddy. But basically, yeah, so a little bit of jalapenos in a Carl's Jr. burger really ain't no thing to me anymore. I still find myself dealing with temptation all the time though. And I know I'm having a cheat meal right now, but the rest of the week where I'm not having cheat meals and having to stick to a meal plan, it's really tough. I was always saying during prep, oh, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be so much easier. And the reality is it's just a little bit easier because I do feel better. Hormones are starting to rebalance a little bit, but the cravings and the hunger is still very much there, and the need to have self-control is still very much there because I still can't eat just whatever I want anytime throughout the week. I'll get a couple good cheat meals throughout the week, but after I finish these burgers, it's going to be right back to locking in until the cheat meal next week. All right, now we're cracking into the Western bacon cheeseburger, and this looks just as good as I remembered it back in the day. It's been a long time since I've had one of these. I will say Carl's Jr. is mad underrated. I love In-N-Out, and I think I've recently talked about the decline in Burger King's quality. Carl's Jr. is still hanging in there. I think Carl's Jr. can go toe-to-toe with In-N-Out. It's just In-N-Out beats Carl's Jr. on the price. That's the only thing. Yep, that's good. Just like I remember. Just like Mom used to make. Over the months, my strength slowly slipped from me. You don't really realize how big of a difference there is, like, while it's happening in the moment. But then say you're in peak week or you're just done with your show, and you look back, like, a few months prior to what you were pushing, and the difference can be pretty substantial, and it just like it was in my case. But it's all good, because we're gonna get those strength numbers back, and we're gonna keep enjoying this cheat meal, and keep enjoying a little bit of extra calories throughout the week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Jacked and Pilled. I've been the Natty Crusader, John Collins. I'm gonna finish my burger, but while I'm doing this, I'd really like you guys to hit that like button, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and hit that bell so you're notified whenever Jacked and Pilled uploads a new video, brother. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm gonna see you guys next time, and y'all have a great day. I thought that was total bullshit up until yesterday. Bro, some people drive slow as yeah, now I'm missing the light. That's awesome. I don't even know what I was gonna say. I lost my train of thought. I was so flustered by that. Well, my energy's back, and I'm more likely to get, like, rageful at certain things now. Oh, that guy's picking his nose. Yep, I just saw it. I saw you do that, bro.